Let's get some music going to set
Yes.
the tone. I got some holiday music. I'm a little ahead though, but I know we all have
I
like
just perks you up.
we well, want to give a couple minutes for people to come on in, but like we're over here with our pumpkin. I got like all decked out in pumpkin and stuff, and I'm over here playing Christmas music.
Hey, just get into it. It makes life
That's what I'm
interesting
saying.
and
I do
fun.
wanna I know I recognized, this already, but thank you again, Baddest Cat, for becoming a channel member. If anyone's interested, click join below. I have 2 tiers. I don't really promote it all that much, but figured what the hell, right? But thank you, thank you, thank you, Baddest Cat. What's up, Bruce?
Hey, Bruce.
Stalking
Hi, Bruce.
stalking me around the YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's so for those who don't know me, I'm Nicole, former fat girl. I have recently, or not recently, but in my weight loss journey, I'm still in the middle of it. I've lost about 70 pounds. I have one more pant size to drop, and I will be at my goal. I'm a nutrition coach, emotional eating coach, and now I'm living and promoting the low carb lifestyle. So I am at former fat girl. I am joined by Carrie. Why don't you give a brief intro in case people don't know who you are?
Okay. Well, I started low carb and around 2015 is when I started low carb, and I just worked my way down to carnivore toward the end of December of last year. And I've been carnivore ever since and loving it. And my issue is, though, that while I feel better than I ever have and my anxiety is totally gone, I lost too much weight. And so I ended up at 110 pounds at 5'9". So I'm doing all these little N=1 tweaks to use body weight exercises, whatever, lifting heavy things so that I can get some shape, because I mean, to be honest, you don't feel too feminine if you're not, if you don't have any shape.
You
And
don't have some hips. I
that's
forgot
right.
before we get to Susie, I forgot. So we are having lunch together. We're having a meal. So I hope let us know in the chat if you guys are also having lunch. It's 12 p.m. my time. So it is lunch. But yeah, let us know what you're having. But I have a cheeseburger patty with half an avocado. I'm not super hungry today. I did have a little bit of Greek yogurt this morning with some blueberries. Carrie, what do you have? What are you munching on?
Oh, I have now. I don't want to make y'all uncomfortable with my fancy setup, okay?
Oh
Because
boy.
here's my beautiful napkins because I eat with my fingers, okay? I don't use a fork on this stuff.
Oh my
Fingers
God, we're
before
a cave
forks.
woman over here.
We got
Yes,
cave woman style here, yeah.
yes. And so here I have my 2 beef patties with Redmond's garlic salt on them. Delicious. And I liberally put that on there. It is amazing. And then this, you guys, is beef bacon.
Ooh,
I tried it for the first time yesterday, and oh
you've never had beef
man,
bacon before?
I had never had it.
You usually have turkey or
No, I just have regular bacon, just regular bacon. I've never had beef bacon.
nice.
Oh, so it's delicious. It's delicious.
So
Mm-hmm.
Susie is a sub. I'm sure you all see her in the chat. She's amazing. By the way, Susie, you're also one of my moderators. Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Nice one. Woo.
So why don't you do a brief introduction and show us what you're chowing down on?
Sure. So, Susie, I am in my mid 50s. I went low carb in 2021. I think it was, and then carnivore 2022. So it's been nearly a year or 2 years for me on carnivore or heavy animal based diet. And I come from a history of digestive problems, fibromyalgia, eating disorder, and some pretty chronic athletic injuries. So I am having a delicious plate. Woo. I actually wasn't very hungry today either.
Yeah.
But I have 4 pieces of pork bacon, not the fancy, wonderful beef bacon, some Kerrygold butter, and a nice, this is chuck and I think sirloin blend burger patty. It has a little bit higher fat. So very, very good.
Yeah, I'm having a premium butcher blend. See, burger patty with half a little bit of avocado, so it adds like a creamy texture to it. It's amazing. But I get the premium butcher blend. I don't know what the blend of this meat is, but the last 2 times I went to the grocery store, my favorite blend, chuck and brisket, they've been out. So, I mean, I get this is a premium blend, but I really think the chuck and brisket, even though it's not their premium blend, I think that blend is a lot better. This one's good, but I really like the brisket and chuck.
So Nicole, you put butter on your burgers, right? Or
I
you
do, yeah.
bake them?
I bake them in butter, so it like bakes in the butter juices and soaks it up. Yeah. Plus, I'm lazy, so it's easy for me to just pop them in the oven, forget about it for a little bit, without having to flip them on the stove and stuff.
Yep.
So we got some people in the chat. What's up? What's up, Mama? Just call me Smurf. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. We got Smurf, Cassie, Susie. Hey, hey, hey. Brenda's in the house. What's up, Brenda? What's up, Mike? Mike is doing, I ain't doing lunch. My OMAD is dinner. Will be homemade bone broth and 2.5 pounds of fatty meat with tallow. That sounds yummy.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, today probably would have been an OMAD day. I was a little hungry this morning, but not overly hungry. I did go out to, I had a fail. So I did go out to eat with a girlfriend, went to this Korean restaurant. Haven't had bulgogi in, gosh, like a few years. The bulgogi was fine. It was in the sauce and stuff, but that didn't really bother me. But I was like, okay, well, I haven't had rice near. Let me try. And I didn't eat all of it. I was like, let me just try a little bit of rice. That jacked my stomach. It was loaded in veggies, like fresh veggies and all that stuff in the pot and a fried egg. So of course I ate the veggies. It was just cucumber and some carrots and stuff. And I was fine with that. But the rice, oh, buddy. So I wasn't, this was on, was it Thursday? Thursday night or Friday? No, Friday night. And I'm still like, I'm not very hungry. But that was an epic fail.
Well, I had a little bit of a shopping fail this morning.
A shopping fail?
Yeah, I got really excited because I had duck breast at the store. I said, and I read I didn't read the ingredients somehow. I don't know how this happened, but I thought it said Maplewood smoked duck breast. And I'm thinking, it looked like it had been cooked. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Oh, I don't know that I've ever had duck. I got excited. I thought, wait till I tell Rick.
Right.
I took it out of the package, put it on my plate, and blood was everywhere. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not cooked.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, that's all right, because I was cooking turkey wings. I could do this at the same time. And then I'm like, something seems a little off with this. I looked at the ingredients again. It was maple syrup.
Oh.
Smoked. It had maple. I think it had sugar and honey.
That's sugar, honey, and syrup?
It was like, yeah, it was either both or all three. And I'm like, it was either maple syrup or maple sugar or sugar. And then I'm like, I can't believe I did that, because I'm usually very vigilant about like checking everything I buy. And I was assuming that the maple they were talking about was the wood that it was used.
Maple wood smoke.
Oh, I'm like, well, I'm glad I didn't make this for lunch and then take a bite and realize I was eating candied duck breast.
Oh man, are you gonna make it, or what are you gonna do with it?
It's gifted to nature.
Oh dang.
Yeah. I feel really terrible about it. I'm like, I wasted like $10 on it too, and I'm like, yay. But good lesson. Always check the ingredients. double check the ingredients if it's something new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an
Oh.
epic fail.
Yeah, that was very disappointing.
So So Mama says she just had 2 hot dogs dipped in mustard. Supper is around 3 p.m. Okay, where are you at? Are you Eastern Central? What time zone are you at?
And I
Susie,
do hot dogs a lot. I'll
you
just
do?
say, and I'll even eat them. I won't even warm them up sometimes. I just eat them like out of the
Oh,
pack.
you just eat cold hot dogs?
I do sometimes.
I do too. Yeah.
Where are you at, Susie? Remind us.
I'm in Southwest Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's right. So you're Eastern.
Hmm. A little bit north. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because my dad's from South Philly, and I'm from South Jersey, so my family's literally right over the bridge from Philly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Camden.
I was born and raised in Oklahoma, so I'm actually southwestern.
Okay.
But we moved almost 30 years ago up here. But ironically, my father's family, their European ancestors came over and went through Virginia and then came up and went through Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I kind of went, back almost, not quite to Lancaster, but did a little bit of a reverse migration there.
Yeah. Well, Brenda said burgers, protein buns, White Castle style. I've never been to White Castle. Have you guys?
I used to love them, him and Crystal's.
They had them
Yep.
in St. Louis, and I went there a couple times. But at that point, I think it was probably I was probably just eating the fries because I wasn't eating red meat at all when I lived in a place where we had White Castle. So I can't tell you like what the burger experience, but they had the little sliders, right? Like
Yep.
the little kind of, yeah.
I've just seen the frozen stuff in the grocery store. I've never tried them, but I wasn't eating red meat either until I switched to what I'm doing now. I was just very lean and green. So yeah, this is like that's why I eat burger patties almost every single day because for me this is kind of like still new because I've always been like black bean burgers, turkey burgers and stuff like that. I never ate beef. So now that I'm eating beef, I just want all of the beef.
Oh no. It's so good, isn't it? You just feel so well after you eat it.
Oh my gosh. Michelle, what's up, Michelle?
Hey,
I already
Michelle.
ate 3 sausage patties and 3 eggs. Dang, girl, good for you. I normally would eat that big too because usually I'm 2 meals a day, but yeah, I'm just not it's not super hungry today, but that sounds delicious.
So what is your egg limit? Does anybody have an egg limit a day? 3, 4?
4 in 1 meal. I just it's a taste thing. I'm over it. After and hard-boiled eggs, I can only do 3 and then I'll just start to like it's just not.
No.
It's a taste thing. Like I can
No.
do like 4, maybe 5 in a meal and then just the taste. I'm just over the taste.
Oh.
If I cook them, and my favorite style is over easy, although I will eat them cooked anyway, but my favorite is over easy. And if I do that, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 generally is what I'll eat. But sometimes, like, I just don't want eggs at all. So, like, I'll go like 2 or 3 weeks and not even eat any, like, not even hard boiled eggs or anything. And then all of a sudden, I just want them again. And then I'll just incorporate them. Like, I didn't do any food prep on eggs this week. I didn't want any. I haven't had eggs in about, I don't know, 2 or 3 days now. So, and when I thought about doing food prep and eating them this week, I was just like, I'm not feeling eggs. So I may do some next week with my meal prep. I don't know. But this week, and I may make some later this week. Who knows what I'll do?
Yeah. What about
right
you,
now?
Susie?
No eggs this week.
I usually am a 3 egg limit, but like recently I've been eating more of them, but I go through phases where I am not interested in eggs at all either.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
a
like,
taste thing.
yeah, and like you're right about the boiled eggs. They're more difficult.
Yeah.
And I tried to make I think it was Sean White in Intentional Carnivore. I think it was his wife's recipe where you take the egg yolk and you blend it with butter or some kind of fat, and then you make a deviled egg like that. And I tried
Mhm.
that, and it was nice. It was okay, but it was still not really, my favorite thing. But I like the sunny side up. I like the eggs cooked just like minimally, like barely.
Oh, like the runny yolk?
Hmm.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
them runny too.
We call them dippy eggs
That's
here.
that's what we used to call them when I was a kid. I'm not
Uh,
you used to dip the toast in them.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad would do that. Actually,
Yeah.
I used to do that too.
Yeah.
Dippy eggs.
And now it's
Yep.
like if I think to do this, I'll put them in the bowl, and so that when the yolks break, I can like just kind of spoon it up, and it doesn't just like get wasted on the plate and just run everywhere. But yeah,
Mhm.
I have to have different stuff to dip them in now.
Yeah. I don't know, like runny yolks I can do like a little bit, but I can't do it a lot. It just upsets my stomach now. I don't know why.
Oh,
It's just
really?
weird. But what's up, baddest cat? I paid homage to you earlier, so welcome. And Jonathan's here. Man of just yes.
Mhm.
The duck breast was like a bait and switch.
I know. What was that? I was so excited.
Oh, Brenda said you could soak it. Maybe you can like take the top layer, maybe the skin off, and just eat the innards. Like just take because I'm sure it's just the skin that's candied, right? So if you just take the skin off,
Yeah. I
so you
assumed
don't
it was.
waste
I
it.
assumed it was a marinade, but maybe not.
Usually they just do the skin. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let
the
us know in the chat. What do you think, Brenda?
skin looked really good and fatty. I was like, that
Yeah.
was getting me excited because I was like, oh,
What do
that
you
looks so good after it's baked.
What do you think, Brenda? Take the skin off or toss the duck? Let us know. Northeast Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, you're nearby.
Central, 45 minutes north of Houston.
Mm.
Nice. I've never been to Houston. Frozen hot. Blech. What's up, Bob? 6 to 12 scrambled eggs like in one
Woo!
meal or throughout the day?
Woo! Wow.
12 like just going to town or spread across the day because I can't even fathom in one meal. Mm-mm.
I mean, that's an omelet like that big, right?
Yeah, it'd be like the size of my table.
Yeah.
Oh man, I eat raw hot
Raw
dogs
hot dogs
too.
too. Like
Talk
that's
about
more like
hot dogs. I'm here for educational purposes. We appreciate you, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
So let us know. I can't believe Thanksgiving is in a few days. So Carrie, what do you got going on for Thanksgiving? What do you have planned?
I am going to my daughter's house. Now, the good news is my family knows how I am, how I eat. So there's usually something there that, of course, there's always meat, but then there's something, there's usually other things that I can eat. However, I make a calculated decision every year. One, no bread. I'm not doing bread. I can't do bread. It messes me up. No type of pasta either. So no macaroni and cheese. It just bloats me, and I just know better, so I don't even do it. And of course, no desserts. However, I allow myself mashed potatoes, and I allow myself sweet potatoes. And my daughter makes excellent both of those. So I will enjoy those, but that will be the extent. And I'm not going to drink any alcohol. I mean, I just don't think I'm going to. My daughter doesn't drink, and I'm not, I just don't plan on it. Possibly maybe have one. I don't like a seltzer, possibly, but I'm not really planning on it. So, but I am just making a conscious decision on those two things that I'm going to have them. And I have done this in the past. Every year I'll have them about 3 different times, and that's at Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. And I just make I just plan on it, and I know how it does my body, like how I react to it. So that's my plan. So, yep. And my daughter lives about 2 miles away, so I'm not going out of town or anything.
Damn, that's nice.
It's a quick trip.
I wish I lived right up the road from my mama. So
Yeah.
sad.
And then my
She's
son lives about maybe 20 miles away. He's about
damn.
4 exits up the road. So I'll be able
Yeah.
to see both of them.
We're 2.5 hours from my parents, and we're super far from Pat's, my husband's. They're in Massachusetts, so we
Oh,
go
wow.
to their place on Thanksgiving. So how we split it up is because we don't want to alternate. One, my memory sucks, and Thanksgiving, like his mom is bigger on Thanksgiving, and my mom's bigger on Christmas. So we do Christmas with my family, my parents. This year we're going to Vegas for Christmas.
Oh,
so my
wow. Cool.
so my parents don't have to host. So she's a nurse. So every other year she gets Christmas off. So yeah, we just meet them in Vegas and spend the week there. We have a timeshare, so we have a kitchen. So we just cook up. My dad cooks up the Italian feast, the pasta and the fish and all that. And I'm giving myself permission to have a little bit of his pasta just because it's tradition, Italian
Yeah.
tradition. And then Thanksgiving we do Massachusetts. So yeah, we're leaving Wednesday, and I am just gonna pile my plate with turkey. She does make turkey. And the gravy she uses, I believe, is just the juices from basting and all that. So I might use that. I am giving myself permission to have some of her cranberry stuffing and cranberry sauce just because it's homemade. So she gets fresh
Mm.
cranberries. She dices up some Granny Smith apple, and the same with the stuffing. It's homemade, and you gets fresh cranberries and stuff. So I am going to have a little bit of that just because it's a once a year thing and it is homemade. It's not, the box crap you get at the store, the jelly cranberry sauce. It's just fresh
Yep.
cranberries and fresh apple, and it's really, really good. So kind
You
of
know
like
what's
Harry.
funny though? I always liked that cranberry blob that
Oh my God.
I used to love
Yes.
that stuff.
My mom would have to buy an extra can because I would eat a can myself because it's so
Mhm.
sugary and I had a problem. But like the jellied stuff, oh my God, that's like, yeah, I could eat a whole can. But this stuff,
Yep.
I can't because it's not as sweet because it's like
Mhm.
cranberries
Yeah.
naturally aren't sweet. So it's easier for me to regulate because her stuff's not. Oh, just dropped a fork. Her stuff's not naturally sweet, so it's really
Well,
good.
Mortar Forker.
Hey, what about you, Susie? What do you got going on? What's your plan?
So we're going to go to the Brazilian steakhouse and get ourselves all kinds of wonderful meat and probably some of the smoked salmon that they have on the cool bar there. That, like, for some reason, their salmon, I don't know if what they do, but it's so good. And usually that will keep me good as in terms of like salmon for 2 or 3 months. And I will probably eat the capers on the salmon. I might have a few olives. I probably will not be eating the cheese. Um, I had some GI issues, some pretty significant GI issues this week. I won't go into too much detail because we're eating here, but yeah. Oh, I was in the ER, so it was
I finished
Oh
eating, so go
no.
ahead. Is
it was
it
bad.
I
Yeah.
had a similar issue when after the Korean, I was supposed to do an interview with Bold Carnivore last night, and I had to cancel on them,
Oh,
because I was in and out of in a bathroom, pretty
oh,
much all night last night. I was like, "That'll teach you.
That'll learn you right
That'll learn
there.
you."
yeah, yeah. Well, what I had done is like dairy free September was excellent, great, and then I went back to heavy cream and I started breaking out a little bit, like, around here. And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just like not do the dairy except for butter. And then I thought, well, you know what? Dr. Sean O'Mara's always talking about how good blue cheese is because it's like a fermented cheese. I thought, I'll
Yeah.
get myself some blue cheese. I'll see how I react to that rather than trying the other kind of fermented stuff. And then while I'm there, I'm going to get some of my favorite goat cheese, which is this Cypress Grove Midnight Moon, I believe it's called. It's like a hard goat cheese. It is
Mm.
exceptionally good. And I ate major cheese. It was so good, but boy, it's so bad. It was not good for me at all. So
Yeah.
probably going to avoid the cheese there. I usually get both the cheese and the like the simple like the salami or whatever it is that the cold cuts they have there too. and just as a little treat to get a little bit of something, you know.
Yeah. So Jonathan's linking. Thank you, Jonathan, for linking Carrie's channel.
That's not me.
Oh, I didn't look at the.
It's got a number after that's not me.
Hmm.
I am just my metamorphosis at my metamorphosis, one word without the numbers. So I don't know.
Yeah, he'll get that one.
Yeah, I don't know when that person created their channel, but
When
I mean, I didn't have to create mine with numbers, so I'm thinking I was first. So I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I was first. You know how it is when you like do an email or something and somebody's already used it and then they suggest something that's got numbers on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking is because, you know, at the time I was it. Yeah.
Well, I want to go through some of these comments. I'm the same way, by the way, Susie. Like I just had cheese on the burger and I was like, the little bit of phlegm and all that. So I'm trying to cut back again on the cheese. I am going to have a ton of meatballs. I have some meatballs thawing out. So I'm going to make a big plate of meatballs. I bought a marinara sauce that's super low in sugar. So I'm kind of going to do a kind of like a meatball parm type thing without the roll. So I'm going to do that for dinner tonight. I'm excited.
Oh, that sounds good.
I know. I'm going to try to go light on the cheese though, because I don't want to be like on the stream tonight go,
No, it's like the dairy phlegm. It's like very annoying. Yeah.
And the sinuses like,
yeah. And it used to be like, is this histamine? Like what's going on? I don't know.
Bruce says, don't y'all do the 7 fishes or something like that? That's the traditional, but we don't have here in the United States. We don't have the traditional Italian fish because they're in the Mediterranean Sea. We can't get that here. But my dad usually does 4. So he'll do cheese fun. He'll do 4, and he mixes it up. So I'll have tilapia. He'll go between tilapia, cod, or flounder because that's what I eat. I'm not a big fish person. And then he'll do crab cakes for everyone else, maybe some shrimp, and he likes smelt. I don't know, like that's his favorite fish, but usually those are the 4 fish he'll do. And for me, he'll just rotate between a tilapia, cod, and flounder, and then he'll make homemade spaghetti and meatballs. And he'll make his own sauce. But yeah, so that's what we do. So we do the 4. And then Brenda, I would have soaked it in salt water overnight, just couldn't have tossed it. Yeah, maybe try that before throwing it away. Like dilute some of the sugar.
Maybe. Will that do that? Will the salt do that?
I don't know, Brenda. Let us know. I'm not sure.
I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just do the skin. So I don't know. I would just like rip the top layer off. One meal with up to 12 eggs, 1 to 1.5 pounds of meat. You're my hero, Bob.
Ooh, Bob.
Oh man.
Bob, are you OMAD generally then?
Oh, that's a fair point. Yeah, it sounds like he's OMAD. Are you OMAD, Bob? I know Mike is OMAD. I don't eat eggs anymore, but I would have no issues with 12 eggs. Why don't you eat eggs anymore? Oh, because are you still doing the lion?
You're doing lion.
Yeah.
I have actually toyed with the idea of doing lion because now that I know that beef bacon exists.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't know. And it makes sense because it's the same cut as the pig. I mean,
yeah.
Why couldn't you make bacon out of that? But it just never occurred to me. So I just never, but now that it's there, because I've kind of toyed with the idea and about, you know, how y'all were talking about the dairy kind of making your nose run a little bit. It's funny. Yeah. My brother and I were having a conversation about, and my dad, because my dad we were eating Mexican. Now I had steak and eggs and my brother did too. We didn't have anything else, but my dad had a salad and it had some cheese and stuff in it. And he says, I wonder why my nose is running now that I'm eating. And then I just said, well, mine does that too when I eat certain things. Yep. And then my brother said the same thing. And true enough, because like if I eat any cheese, and I've noticed if I eat a lot of that full fat Greek yogurt, it'll do the same thing. It'll make
really,
even though it's full fat, you know, it's the good full fat Greek yogurt, but
Yeah.
if I eat a lot of it, and it's not terrible, it's not like I'm just, a faucet, but I will notice that it happens.
Dang
So
it, I need a sound effect for that. I need a nose, like a blow in the nose sound effect. That's next.
like,
That's next. That would have been perfect. Perfect timing.
yes.
Jonathan, I've gone from 4 to 12 jumbo eggs a day for the past 4 years. Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
people eat a lot of eggs. It's a good source of iodine. It's just a taste thing for me. I can only do so many.
It's for me. It's a smell.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smell of regular like eggs that are cooked doesn't bother me too much. Well, I mean, hello, boiled eggs are cooked, but you know what I'm saying? Like when you cook them in a pan,
Yeah.
that's a different type of smell though than the hard boiled egg smell.
Yeah.
And that one will sometimes get to me too.
The hard boiled eggs make me burp. I'll like, I don't know. It might just be a texture thing.
So sometimes I'll eat the hard boiled eggs though, and I'll just eat the yolk only and just throw the white part away.
Yeah, that's smart. Oh, I think. Does that look right, Carrie?
That is me.
Thank you, Jonathan. You're a rock star, Jonathan. See, you're here for more than educational purposes.
You educate others.
Him and I will be doing a live stream tomorrow at 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. His regular muscle ramblings. I've been making random guest, if you want to call it that, appearances, trying to keep up with the knowledge of exercise and pretending I know what I'm talking about when it comes to weightlifting. I just pick things up and put them down. I don't know the ins and outs of all that. I fake it. What's up, B-Dog? Carrie is Medo, not Meta. Ah, okay, yeah, he fixed it.
Yep.
What's up, Vince? Yeah, is anyone else having lunch with us? I can eat half the egg pudding with 12 eggs. What pudding? What egg pudding? I want pudding. What are you talking about?
Oh, you know what? I think Chris Cooking Nashville did a pudding recipe not long ago.
Oh.
I love his channel. All right, I'm going to stop saying things like that. I'm going to stop saying I don't do and just say I haven't yet
There you go.
cooking. I haven't yet gotten into cooking. I have tried a lot of things that I have not tried in the past, so I'm getting there. However, I love his channel, and it's just because he's just got this, he's like a food scientist for good is really what he is. Like he knows the flavors and stuff, like what can be substituted to make it a clean carnivore/keto dish.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting, and he's just so good at what he does. So I really recommend you check him out, even if you aren't yet cooking.
Carrie, I'm proud of you. Look at that mindset shift. How are you liking? Are you still using my food journal?
I am using your food journal, and some days there's not much in there. Some days I find it's kind of like what you guys were talking about earlier. Some days I just find that I am not hungry. Like I'll give you an example. My brother and my dad and I went to the Mexican restaurant on Friday, and I ate steak and 3 eggs. And the reason I had 3 eggs when it normally comes with 2 is because I politely asked for a substitution. Like I had never asked them before. I used to just tell them I don't want the beans and the tortillas. However, I politely asked for a substitution and they gave it to me. So I ended up with 3 eggs. So I ate that. And then I had a couple burger patties after that, like in the evening. And I had some full fat Greek yogurt. And then like yesterday, I barely ate anything. I was not hungry. I mean, I ate a little bit of that beef bacon, and I did eat some, and this is just terrible, but this is what I wanted. And I ate some full fat Greek yogurt. And then that was all I had yesterday. So today I'll probably make up for it. My eating patterns have always been weird. Like there are times, like when I was little, my mother used to tell me, or my mother told me that when I was little, like young, before I could remember, that I would only eat like every other day.
Oh.
Wow.
I was intermittent fasting before it was cool, I guess. Right?
There you go.
I was a trendsetter.
There you
But
go.
my eating habits have always been weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
How's your food, Susie? You're over there munching around. I pounded mine. Mine's gone.
it's almost gone. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but I've been a habitual undereater for many years. Ah,
This
there
is
you
what I
go,
got.
Carrie.
Nice.
Yeah, and what I found about the when I went ketovore, when I was having basically just meat and vegetables, my appetite was reduced to the point where I underate. I got, not to trigger anybody, but I got down to like 90 pounds, and my hair started
Oh,
falling out. Yeah, it
wow.
was
Yeah.
like pretty significant, and so I had to really, I almost had to force feed myself, and it helped that I was going on a fitness journey and starting with my personal trainer. So I was doing more in the space of my like hypertrophy and trying to get my muscle mass built up. So I was doing the kinds of things that would put muscle on me, and instead of just like cardio, right? So but it was an effort of will. I had to be very intentional about how I ate there for a while, because I had been OMAD, ketovore, and yeah, it resulted basically in hair loss. So about, I think it was around maybe the beginning of 2022, I started eating pretty much basically like carnivore. I thought, like, save the space in my stomach. I was putting the vegetables in, give that over to meat and fat, and just increase the meat and fat, and then increase the slowly increase um the weightlifting I was doing, and my strength is probably over doubled, I would say, at least.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I've gained close, not quite 10 pounds, but it's real close to 10 pounds.
Because you're defying sarcopenia.
I'm yeah, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, no,
Mm-mm.
no sarcopenia for me.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to be a frail person that can't do stuff that I
And
want to do.
falling all the
Me
time and
neither.
breaking hips.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure, when you have sarcopenia, you probably have osteopenia and some bone loss going on too when you are of a mature age.
Yep.
And I was in the age range and the demographic where I was definitely going to be in danger of, getting osteoporosis if I wasn't careful. So instead of like taking calcium, right, I decided weight bearing exercise, high protein diet, high fat. And I did have a friend of mine. This is well before I knew anything about ketovore, or any of that. She was doing bone broth and exercise to reverse, pardon me, osteopenia, and
Mm.
she did it. No, she was gluten free. I don't think she was a carnivore, per se. I don't know if she was even keto, but the bone broth combined with the consistent weightlifting, and she would do like run, like go up and down the stairs and do like small little like 5K runs. She reversed her osteopenia. It was
That's
like
awesome.
it was there on the like in the readings. It was amazing, and I'm like, I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah.
And that,
Yep.
yes, that gave me a lot of hope, knowing that like even when you're in my age range above it, you can still do tremendous things for your health if you
Oh, yeah.
know.
So back when I was doing CrossFit, I don't do it anymore just because back. But we had to do like this workout of the day, which was included 400 meter sprints, like lifting, running, all that stuff.
Mhm.
I was gasping for air because I was a sprinter. I wasn't a long distance thing. One, and I was still like very overweight and just not good. But yeah, I was dying. This 70, I believe he was 72. He lapped me. I was like running, and this 72-year-old man lapped me. And I just looked, I was like, I'm out. I was like, he was
Wow.
strong as hell though. Like, I love seeing that stuff. But yeah, he was kicking us youngins butts in that class.
That's awesome, though.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
I was like,
Yeah.
go you. But welcome, Gabrielle. Hello from Utah. Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Are you having well, you're 3 hours behind. What time is that? 9? Almost 10? What did you have for breakfast, Gabrielle? Renee says hubby has been eating 4 boiled eggs a day for about 10 years. He boils a
Oh,
dozen and a half, and I hate the smell in the fridge.
oh,
Oh, it's
Renee.
Yes.
awful. It is
Oh,
awful. It's the
Yeah.
worst.
oh.
A million of years ago, I thought Parmesan cheese made my eyes itch, ate it anyway. But then I found out that my mom switched from butter to margarine. Oh
Oh,
no. Oh, was it around the time where
no.
that sexy man on the horse and moved his hair back and said, I can't believe it's not butter?
Oh, yeah. That was the downfall of many women. They were like, I'm in.
It's like his long blonde hair. I can't believe it's not butter. And I was like, I can't believe you look like that.
It's almost like, if Chris Hemsworth, I joked with somebody one time that I would have thought Thor was an excellent movie if all he did was stand there and hold his hammer.
That's what like, I don't even know the plot. I'm just like, can you
It's
just
like,
like
It's just Chris
yeah.
Hemsworth.
this is okay. Yes.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
Jonathan, Nicole has great insights into exercise science, much better than nearly all gym bros I know. Oh, thanks, man. I like to think of myself as a gym broette.
Maybe
Make up
you're a
word.
gym brat.
Hey. Brenda, 2KK recipe, scrambled eggs with keto chow.
Is that for your pudding?
That's for the pudding.
For the pudding?
Oh, two
I've
crazy
never
ketos, right? Yeah, those two crazy ketos. There
Yeah.
are several recipes that are going around. I know I've seen them on my feed.
Really? I've never tried. Have you guys tried, or I'm sorry, have you ladies tried keto chow? I haven't tried keto chow.
I haven't tried it yet. I actually have some sample packs
Oh,
of it.
Susie has some.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you got the big one. I've
Well,
just got the little packs, a little, some little individual sized ones.
Yeah, I have a sample pack from Keto Palooza. I just haven't tried it yet. How do you like it, Susie?
um, it's probably tastes better than it should. Oh,
Oh
it's
wow.
actually quite flavorful. But my husband started on that when he had an injury and he was having some pretty intense pain and insomnia. He was getting like 45 minutes of sleep a night. It was just really horrible and scary. And during that time, his appetite was just terrible. He had no appetite. So we got him this because it's um, minus the fat. It's supposed to be like a complete meal replacement. You have to add in your fat source to it, and you're
How many calories is in that powder?
Mm,
In a serving,
let me see.
quote unquote calories.
So the dry mix is 123 per scoop. If you add a half a stick of butter, it's 528 calories.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd have to have a lot of stuff to that. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
my clients use meal replacement stuff, and I'm like that, and they're trying to lose weight. I was like, you need to eat. I was like, that's not enough. So I'm like, we have to put a lot of stuff in their smoothie if that's what they want to drink to make sure it's an actual meal.
Yeah. So if you do 3 of these, it's probably not that really calories is that great of a measure.
Well,
If
no, but
anything,
it's a good like kind of like I don't know standard like that's what people use.
but it says here it's 26 grams of protein per serving. And so even if I mean, that's still barely enough protein for probably most adults.
Yeah, it's just I just don't like.
Older.
And this isn't knocking keto chow because I don't know anything about them. I've never tried it, but I just don't like things marketed as meal replacements where it's not a meal replacement. Like because people fall into that trap. I'm not saying you, just in general, people fall into that trap where they'll just take the powder, add water, and think of that as a meal because it's marketed as a meal. I'm like, that is not a meal replacement. That's a snack.
And this needs to have
needs a lot.
some kind of fat source added to it.
Right.
But if you've had dental surgery, your jaw is injured, you have, super sore throat or something like that. Like over the last couple of days after I got out of the ER the next day, I literally within 2 days, I lost 5 pounds. I had lost that much like fluid and everything like that. So I did keto chow for a couple of days And because my appetite was so off, and the scale was just went like that, and I'm like, I was stressed out. So it helps like that. But I probably wouldn't recommend people consume it regularly, especially as a meal. You know, it's not really intended. It's to be like, if you're too busy.
Supplemental.
Yeah, supplemental. Now, there are a lot of recipe applications to this product, and so the ice cream is like probably one that's the most popular. But they have, and I have a packet of it's behind me. Or no, is it back there? It's somewhere here. This is like, I think milk protein based. They have like beef protein based version, and I've gotten a couple of packs of that to try. So if you have a dairy allergy or sensitivity, you could do that. Yeah. So you're not doing that all day. Oh yeah, the last couple of days it's been like, yeah.
How do you like it? The beef protein? Or meat protein?
I thought it tasted just fine. I thought I put heavy cream in mine, and it was delicious. It was just a little harder to get to dissolve.
Okay.
And they recommend like using like a blender or Vitamix or something like that to do it. And I was just using a fork. And the other stuff dissolved a little bit better. But I mean, you could buy protein powder probably for less money if you get one that has clean ingredients and look at it. But this is supposed to have a good balance of minerals and stuff like that. It's definitely a little bit saltier than what you would think if you were to do some other kind of meal replacement. And, you know, you might be accustomed to that if you've been doing a ketogenic carnivore diet and you salt your food and you enjoy that. But, excuse me.
Cheese.
Yeah, probably. But I would recommend like buy a pack, a little sample pack or two, and see what you like if you want to. But just be cautious. It's like anything else that's sweet flavored. It can lead you down paths you don't necessarily want to go if you've had issues with that in the past. I've always been someone that could have a very small little bit of sweet something and leave it, and not. For me, it was like always the savory carb stuff, and potatoes in particular that were my bingey kind of foods when I did that. But they do have some flavors that are savory. So you could, in theory, you could take some keto chow, add it to some bone broth, and make a soup if you were under the weather and your lymph nodes were swollen and you just couldn't swallow anything, and you wanted something that tasted a little bit like chicken soup and you didn't feel well enough to cook anything for yourself. You could, I mean, that's probably another possibility. But I've not tried their savory flavors, but yeah.
My husband's a savory person. I'm a sweet person. So going back to the margarine and the sexy guy on I Can't Believe It's Not Butter, she said yes, that margarine man was on the cover of all my mom's. I remember that. He was on every single romance novel. Who the heck wrote those books? But oh my God, that was all the rage. What, in the 90s? He was everywhere.
Like the late 80s. Yeah.
Late
80s and
80s,
early
early
90s.
90s. He was like everywhere.
It's Fabio, I think was his name.
Yeah.
Fabio.
Oh no, he could talk to me all day. I would buy a book on audio if he narrated.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, men in the chat.
Hey, we're human, right? We're proper humans now.
We're ladies.
Yes.
I had a conversation with my husband about what is it? Not a proper lady, but what a classy lady, how a classy lady acts and what they look like or whatever, because I'm like the opposite. Like I try to gross
I know
him
I am.
Yeah, I try to gross him out at least once a day. I'm like, you want to hear something gross? He says no. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, so we had this conversation, and I called my mom, and we both consulted Dr. Google, and it doesn't say anything about a dress, because I think my mom was going off like the old like 60s TV shows with like the dresses and in the kitchen cooking. I'm like, I'm out.
Pearl earring or pearl necklace. And
your hair all done up, but it's just like your hair like just put together, like you're put together. Your hair is nicely done. Right? You sit proper at the table. and all that stuff. And I'm like, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't say anything about burping or any of that stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
I'm in.
All right, Ruth.
I think
Oh my
there's
gosh.
probably layers of assumption about like
Probably.
what's considered proper table etiquette. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, sorry. My father's family were very much country people, and there were 12 of them, and at one point they didn't have running water or heat or electricity. You know, it was like I'm from country stock, so
Well, Bob says Chris Keto Chow owner did a video series where he ate only his product for 100 days. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check it out. Just trying to see if I missed any comments. B-Dog, what's up, man? Yes, the ice cream is in my freezer right now. I need to make some. I meant to. So my parents came to visit last weekend, and I actually have the vlog scheduled, vlog number 2. This one was actually a lot better. But yeah, I meant to make ice cream when they were down for Veterans Day weekend, but I ran out of heavy cream. So I didn't have the ingredients. So next time I'll have to make that. Although my ice cream, if you guys have been making carnivore ice cream, I know Jonathan makes it, but drop it in the chat what you use, because I use protein powder. I have flavored protein powder, and I've been using the almond milk or coconut milk, either or, like half and then half heavy cream, because I found that the ice cream, you don't have the flavor of, all I taste is cream, like the creaminess of the ice cream. So how do you guys make your ice cream, and what do you use and how much? Because I'm still trying to figure that out. Carrie, do you make ice cream?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Susie, you do,
Yeah,
right?
you
I
knew better than that,
I,
right?
hey, I
But
didn't want to leave you out. I was like, you could have
I
surprised me.
know,
You
and
could have surprised me.
it brings humor into the conversation. But yeah.
we tried a
They're
couple
like, yeah, we
times,
know she doesn't do it.
and it was like kind of like softer than soft serve. So I probably did something wrong. You know, I probably too many or too few ice cubes or something. But
Yeah.
you know, I'd rather have just some nice Greek yogurt with maybe just a little touch of electrolyte powder in it or something. Oh,
Oh,
Jonathan has an excellent recipe for carnivore cake. It's made with protein powder.
carnivore cake?
Ooh.
Carnivore
I want
cake.
cake.
Check out Jonathan's channel. Look up carnivore muscle. Look up his recipe for carnivore cake, and it's extremely easy. I could do it. It
Yeah.
turned out wonderful, and it was very. It was just like, you know, special occasions. Sometimes you want a little something, but it's made with protein powder, so
Yeah.
it's good stuff. Yeah.
I use
Oh,
protein
well,
powder in mine too.
let me get
Carrie's
my.
writing this down.
I am writing this down. That might be something. That'll be something that I can try to broaden my
Susie, is it
horizon.
you, Susie? It is Susie.
Yes, it's me.
It's her.
It's
So
me.
yeah, Jonathan said single cream, which I think Sophie said that's the equivalent to heavy cream here. I don't know. She said that's the equivalent to heavy cream here in the United States, and I can't get raw. I don't think I can get raw milk. I haven't seen raw dairy anywhere because it's hard to get here in the United States. So,
Yeah.
but I do use whey protein powder, heavy cream. But yeah, maybe I need to find a different milk. I need to figure that out. So I'm not doing it wrong. I just want to taste some, because I have cookies and cream protein powder. I want to taste some cookies and cream ice cream. I don't want to taste cream.
Yeah, you gotta have the cookies in with it.
I know. Okay, Jonathan.
There
Okay.
we go.
there's the recipe.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's great. I made that for my husband, and he was just like over the moon. He loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys haven't Suze, Renee, come on, man. You know I'm not touching no cow's teats. You know I don't even know where the teats are, Renee. You should know me better than that.
Are you, Renee? You're signing up Nicole for some farm work, huh?
That's because I called it a flock of cows instead of a herd of cows. She's making fun of me. I don't know about
Oh, but
farming.
man, that would make a great video, though. It
Me
would go
milking a
viral,
cow?
probably. Yes. It would
I've
be,
seen enough TV. I think you just go like this. You can make a dance out of it.
you know what? I mean, we had some cows on our property like a long time ago, and we also had goats and horses, but I never milked a cow, so I couldn't because they weren't dairy cows, so I could not tell you.
Wait, you can't milk every cow?
I don't think so. I think they have to be
Renee?
dairy cows.
The hell's a
I
dairy
think you can technically, but I think that you get more out of the dairy cows than because they're
cow?
bred for that than the
Yeah.
meat cows.
So
What I call the meat
don't
cows. Like they don't generally slaughter dairy cows because that's not their purpose. They don't have like all that meat bulked up and everything. It's
They
the
just have milk bulked up.
yes, they were just bred for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got the big teats and all that,
Oh wait, she said these aren't dairy cows either, so it will be entertaining. So you can milk non-dairy cows. So what the hell's the difference between a dairy cow and a regular cow if you can milk a regular cow? Help.
I don't know enough about it. I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough about a lot of things to be dangerous.
I don't about you can ask Susie. She's kind of familiar with where I'm from. No farms. No. We don't see livestock or any of that stuff where I'm from.
Oh.
City.
we
City.
had we had some beef cattle, probably a couple miles from where we live at one point, and it was always wonderful to like kind of drive by and see them. But they were, I don't know what kind they were. They were dark, but they were not the milk cows. They weren't like the Jersey cows.
Mhm.
But the milk cows, I'm assuming, are. I mean, they're used to being.
They're white with black spots, right?
Yeah, that's what we classically see.
Like the ones on the Chick-fil-A commercials.
That's how I know. That's how I know.
Exactly.
They've actually used the wrong kind of cow on there. And also the California cows. If you've seen those commercials about the happy cows.
The happy cows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce says, what kind of protein powder? Haven't had any luck with egg white powder. So the two brands I use that are just regular whey are third party tested. So the ingredients that they claim, because supplements aren't regulated by FDA, right? So whenever they say proprietary blend, it's usually underdosed. And that's why they don't disclose it. But Bare Performance Nutrition, so BPN supplements, and PE Science Select are the two I use. Both of them are third party tested, which means you have a higher level of trust in what is in their products. And they're both, I believe, like 2 grams of sugar, but there's no hidden ingredients. There's no proprietary blends. Everything is very disclosed on their label, is third party tested. So they have a third party lab testing all their dosing and whatever's claimed on the label. So those are the two I use because it's more trustworthy than all the other supplements on the market if it's third party tested.
Yeah, I generally do not use protein powders or keto chow. It's just an exception over the last few days just because I wasn't feeling well. But the protein powder that my husband likes is IsoPure. And I really can't speak to what the ingredients are, but I think he gets it at Costco.
Do you use anything, Carrie?
I haven't. I do have the sample keto chows, and I thought about actually, but I mean, I've heard mixed opinions on this, but I thought about supplementing for a while with that as I work out and stuff to kind of, help me in my muscle building.
Yeah.
Because I definitely I don't want to build fat. I don't want to eat a bunch of carbs and stuff to do that. And I thought maybe supplementing like even every other day or something with some of the keto chow that might just kind of get me over the hump.
Help increase your intake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to substitute those. So that's why I want to be careful about that, because I'm kind of afraid that if I do that, unless maybe if I drink it slow or something like throughout a time period, but I'm just kind of afraid that I would make it a substitute, and I don't want to do that either because it would be easy for me to do that. I could eat very easily. Matter of fact, that would kind of be my little dream situation. I could be sitting here at my desk working away and just sip on that all day, and I wouldn't even need to stop to eat. See?
Well, and if you make it with ice, that would probably slow down the intake, and you would probably be able to sip on it for longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you may find that you're less inclined to actually sit and eat the real food potentially.
Because
Yeah,
I'm this
I can
weirdo.
myself doing that. Yeah.
I'm a total weirdo too. Like I always, more so as a kid than an adult, but I used to look at food as basically it was a pain. I would have to stop doing whatever I was doing to eat. I've told my mother once when I was little that if I could just have a pill for my dinner, that's what I would do. I just didn't. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy good food because, boy, I do enjoy good food. I enjoy it a lot if somebody else cooks it. I don't enjoy it enough, generally speaking, to make it for myself. So I don't know. I'm just a strange bird in that way, and that's all right. That's just me. But it's just funny how I just
you don't use food for entertainment, which is a huge benefit for you though, Carrie, because so many of us do, self included, and that's how a lot of us end up with metabolic problems.
I've gotten to where I do use it for entertainment more as an adult, and especially like because I didn't eat out like a ton when I was married. We just didn't have that much money. And then, of course, now that I'm older and my kids are grown and gone, and I do have more disposable income, and I like the socialization part of it. But the thing is, though, I know what to eat and what not to eat when I go out to eat. So I do eat out more and use it as a social thing than I ever have in my life before. Because when I was a kid, we certainly didn't eat out much. We sort of did more when my mother started working when I was in my late teens.
But, yeah. For us, it was like maybe Sunday lunch. Maybe we'd get a pizza or something like that. We didn't eat out a whole lot, but we did have a lot of seed oils in the house. Unfortunately, my brother has type 1 diabetes, so he developed that as a child, and so we pretty quickly pivoted away from using anything with real sugar in it. But we went to the substitutes, which I think at that time they were really not that much better, and it wasn't low carb.
Yeah.
Well, B Dog says this conversation is so fun. I'm driving and I'm going to have to watch it over. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it is fun.
We're having fun doing it. Or I
am. Yeah, lots of cow talks. This is funny. Cancel Jonathan's cow milking experience because I can't bend down to reach the udders. Now, is it udders or teats?
Maybe the udder is the bag, and then the teats are the little no, that would be nipples. I don't know. Do cows have nipples?
Yeah, those are the things you.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but they also, I guess they would call those teats, right? Or would they?
Yeah, what's the udder?
I
think the udder is the bag.
All mammals have teats.
So I don't know what the
Renee?
Yeah, Renee, we need to know what the correct terminology is.
We need some zoology help here.
Oh, we need some definitions.
A lot of people in carnivore space eat for entertainment. I'm trying to understand why. I mean, it's part of our environment and how we grew up. Everyone Thanksgiving is a prime example, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How do we celebrate every holiday here in the United States? Food, gatherings, desserts, all that stuff. It's everything. When a funeral, you go out to eat. You're celebrating, you go out to eat. So every time you're experiencing an emotion, it's you you do that with food. So it's like we're taught emotional eating if you actually stop and think about what we're doing. It's just how most of us are raised and what's passed down generation, and just how most people, I guess, celebrate or grieve or mourn. It's all the same thing. And I call that, we're taught emotional eating from when we're a kid. And like using food as entertainment and celebration and mourning and trauma and all these things. There's always food, or food and alcohol. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Where does the line fall though? Like our ancestors, for example, like there were always like big feasts for different things, and the tribe, would gather and they would celebrate a hunt, or they would celebrate somebody's like, I don't know, womanhood or manhood, or some kind of an achievement, so there was in gatherings, either for the family or the tribe, or but all, was a big important thing ancestrally, like going way, way back. So I wonder, like, so I think that's in us to do that, to have the community. And I think that's a whole part of the socialization. And, you have your immediate family and you have your tribe, and you have belonging and stuff. I think it's a whole part of that. Somehow in the more modern years, maybe it's because we do it more often, maybe because everything almost is a reason
It's the types of
to
food.
go out and eat to celebrate. Maybe that's
It's
it.
not, it's the types of foods, and it's
Yeah, it's the type of food
and it's
too.
what's taught. Like they celebrated like the big hunt and all that, but think about it. They don't get big kills like as often. That we have access to food 24/7.
Exactly.
And that's problem one. Problem two, as if you stop and think about truly what our community and what our celebration and all that is, it's surrounded by food. And it's, at that point, it's no longer using food as nourishment, it's using food as celebration and all that, because you can have community without that. But if you are going to have that, it's the types of foods. Like, think about Thanksgiving. I love using Thanksgiving as an example because it's all carbs except for the turkey or whatever meat you're having. It's one protein source, not fat, by the way. It's usually a lean meat, unless you're going to a Brazilian steakhouse like Susie. But the vast majority of people, it's turkey or ham
Yep.
and carbs and desserts and all that stuff. So you have one source of protein, and
That's true.
the rest of the buffet table's carbs. And that's, that's part of the issue too. So you just mentioned ancestors and all that stuff. I'm like, but it's different than.
It is different,
Yeah.
and we celebrate everything.
Yep.
So it's not like if we just did it like maybe 3 or 4 times a year or something.
We celebrate
Although they still would
birthdays.
eat, like communally, everybody would eat together. But I just think somehow food is looked at, as Mike was saying, I think it's looked at as entertainment. Like when our ancestors would gather around the fire, even if they were just eating like a regular evening meal or something, they were just more communing with each other. And they weren't really, the food was just an incidental thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's like your birthday. I'm sure they didn't celebrate every single year. Like, I don't celebrate my birthday. I was born once. I don't have to celebrate every year. Like, I was like, it's a birthday, not birth years. So like it's just an excuses, in my opinion, to celebrate something, an excuse to have cake, an excuse to have this.
Yes, exactly. And they've got those calendars now that have, it's
The
like
Advent.
every day is a holiday kind
Yeah.
of calendar. And so there's these random, this is, of course, I don't know. I would celebrate National Bacon Day. I don't even know if they would be allowed to have that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So
Okay.
Bruce says both names are interchangeable, udder and teat. Okay. Was telling my hubby about the flock. Leave me alone, Renee. Leave me alone.
Okay, Nicole, I got one, and this will take the heat for the flock off of you. Okay, I can laugh at myself. I know you laugh at yourself too. We all do, but I mean, we do. Okay, I grew up in the suburbs, so I was not a country girl. So in spite of how I talk, I was not a country girl. But after I got married, my husband's family was country people, and so I morphed into their accent and everything. So we were in my mother-in-law's kitchen and they brought in some turnip greens. And so I innocently asked, "Oh, are we going to peel some turnip greens?" To which they just started rolling in the floor laughing because you don't peel turnip greens.
Oh no.
That's
I mean,
funny.
they were, yeah. So yes, so I still to this day get teased about peeling turnip greens.
Yeah, I say a lot of dumb stuff, so people around me are used to it. This isn't just for show. I do say dumb stuff.
And I asked if pork skins were really made out of pork skins, or I asked what they were made of. That's what it was.
That's
And
something I'd ask. Yeah.
and my ex-husband just looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Oh
And
no.
he was just like, I mean, he wasn't ugly about it, but I mean, he just couldn't believe that I didn't know. And he just said, "They are made of pork skins." And I said, "Well, hot dogs aren't made out of dogs,
No, they're made of
and
sweat.
hamburgers aren't made out of ham." So
That's true. That is
it's a
true.
valid question.
And a driveway, you don't drive in a driveway and you don't park on a parkway. So I mean, I understand. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Renee says, I could be wrong, but I thought udders was from actual milk cows and teats were from those that had milk but for their baby. Well, we're going to go with that because you're the cow professional. You're the one that has cows that join you in the kitchen. So we'll go with what you say.
Yep.
Sounds about right. Vince says YouTube is now sending me adverts on fire blankets and extinguishers. Apparently, my chance of dying of grease fire is greater than hers.
Oh,
Oh, that's too
oh
great.
my gosh.
That's funny.
No. Oh, some of the adverts I get.
I get
Unbelievable.
someone
I get
says,
a lot of stuff for diabetic medication. I'm like,
really?
what? Yeah, it's very odd.
Well, after our last live, or after the last live I did, Renee and a bunch of other people, I think you were there too, Susie. We were talking about dresses. Somehow the dress topic came up, and people were
Oh,
saying when they were watching my video or someone's video when I turned the ads on, they were getting dress ads or
oh
something.
no. Well, God knows what they're going to see after we've had a discussion about udders and teats.
Probably milk. We're gonna get dairy commercials.
Yes. Yeah.
Let us know. Like, drop me a comment when you go back and watch a replay. I do have to turn the ads on after, but watch it. If you are going to go back and watch a replay, drop a comment and let us know if you get any dairy ads, if you get milk ads. Inquiring minds want to know. Chad, what's going on? I told my wife I wanted to do a home improvement. She gave me $1,000 and told me to move out. I think he said that in one of our last videos. I remember I was dying.
No respect.
That's something I would say. My husband never said he's going to pick up a hammer. I was like, not up in here, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renee says the listening gods. I tell you, it's Google. They have spies.
It's
They listen to all of
they.
our,
It's
I'm
they and them. They and them.
they listen to all of our conversations.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we have no privacy.
No.
Not really.
Well, let us know if you I know this has just been a cool chill chat, but if you just have any random questions, drop it in the chat. But we've been at this for a little over an hour. I want to be respectful of everyone's time and all that. So why don't we go around the horn real quick and let us know what your plan. I know we talked about Thanksgiving and all that stuff, plan of attack, but let us know your mindset going into Thanksgiving. For instance, I'll start with mine. And I know we're all in different places of our journey and all that. And if you're familiar with me and follow me for a while, you know that, I've achieved food freedom and it took me damn near most of my life to get here. But I'm going in and I'm giving myself permission to indulge a little bit and sample. So my plan of attack is to sample things. So I'm going to load my plate with protein, with turkey, just pile the turkey on my plate. And then I'm gonna do like little, spoonfuls of things I want to try, like this, like her homemade stuffing and cranberry sauce, are the main things I want to try. So I'm giving myself permission to sample. One, because I know I'm not going to feel left out or any of that. Like, I'm not participating. It's more so just to alleviate the stress and anxiety and all that stuff going in. And and I can always choose to not give myself, I can always choose to change my mind and not do those things. But I think going into it for me, giving myself permission to sample things is kind of freeing, allowing myself to do that. And I can always change my mind and not do that. But for me, it's kind of like just to lessen the stress and thinking around it, to just go in and just have a good time without, thinking about what I'm going to eat and what I'm not going to eat. So that's my plan of attack. Carrie, what's your plan of attack and mindset going in?
My mindset's a lot like yours, Nicole. I basically about 3 times a year give myself permission to have my mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. And that's what I just plan on doing that. Now, I do have some absolutes that I know will make me feel terrible if I eat them. And it hasn't always been that way, but as I've gotten older and maybe as I've eliminated things from my diet, this has probably caused that too. But like I can't do pastas and stuff anymore. They make my stomach bloat. I can't do bread anymore, and I can't do raw vegetables. So not that there's going to be any raw vegetables, but I'm just saying I'm not going to, I don't ever do any of those because I
would
can't.
recommend, I haven't eaten veggies in a long time, but I will have green beans if I do, or asparagus are the two that I've eaten off and on here and there. I always recommend cooking the dang vegetables because you can at least cook off most of the toxins
Yep.
and cook a lot of that junk off. So yeah, I'm with you, Carrie. I wouldn't eat any raw veggies anymore either.
And I don't, not that there's going to be any at Thanksgiving. So I do give myself permission though. The sweet potatoes are just like a dessert for me. And they don't affect, I don't have any bad effects after I eat the mashed potatoes or the sweet potatoes. And so I will have a generous portion and I won't take any home. Just like with the cheesecake that I had, it was about a month or so ago at the work gathering. I gave myself permission to have some cheesecake, but when they offered it, because they knew how much I liked it, I've worked with these people a long time, and they were, "Oh, Carrie, you can take this home." I'm like, "Oh no, Carrie, you can't take this.
Yeah.
Thank you for the offer, but I would sit there and eat all of it tonight." I have a few weaknesses and I know that Renee was talking about banana pudding, and I used to get that as a birthday cake instead of a birthday cake. My mother-in-law would always fix whatever our favorite meal and our favorite cake was, and I always wanted the banana pudding. So I understand where Renee's coming from with that, but I won't have any. I don't think there's going to be any banana pudding anyway. That would be a hard one to turn down, and I might. If there is any, I might have a bite or two of that without the wafer part.
That's a good idea because if my weakness, my kryptonite's pumpkin pie. I can eat. I used to go to town on pumpkin pie. If they didn't have any last year. So like if there's no pumpkin pie, I'm good on not having dessert. But if there's pumpkin pie, man, I might have to have like a little sliver, like literally like the smallest piece ever, like cut my own and probably just not eat most of the crust. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. But like I said, I'm giving myself permission to sample, but that's a weakness. And the last thing before we get to Susie that I forgot to mention is I do have a video coming out on this in a few days, but another tip, if you are still on your journey and you can't sample things without going on binges or having your cravings through the roof and stuff, like I'm able to eat if I want, I can eat whatever I want and just have a sample and move on with my life and not think about it again. But if you're not to that point, bring your own sides. Like I know Renee and a couple other people were, voluntold to bring like pudding and all this crappy pastry, dessert and all that stuff because that's what our tables are loaded with. But bring your own side dish. Like for instance, if we weren't on a plane and traveling to another state, if I were more local, like driving to my parents' house, I would probably bring like guacamole and maybe some fresh berries. And that would be, my dessert, maybe some full fat Greek yogurt and some berries. I think someone mentioned in another chat. That would be my dessert. And I'd bring stuff like that. So even if you're voluntold to bring a side dish, that doesn't mean you can't bring whatever you were asked to bring, and also bring things that you enjoy that'll help you stay on plan with whatever that looks like for you. So that's kind of like the last point I forgot to mention is because a lot of people are still on their journey and a lot of people are, stressing about what they're going to eat. So just because you were voluntold to bring pudding and stuff like that doesn't mean you can't also bring these other things that you do enjoy and that's not going to make you go off the rails. So what do you got, Susie? What's your plan of attack and what's your mindset going in? Oh, well, you're going to a Brazilian steakhouse. You don't really have to think about that. You're just going to eat all the meat.
This is true. She's not going to have much temptation there.
No, I mean, there'll probably be some like plantains or bananas or something like that. But I'm honestly, I'm not like even tempted. What I want to do though is I want to be able to wake up Friday morning, hit the trails, hike, enjoy myself, and be energized and feel well enough I can get out and get in some non-shopping related Friday after Thanksgiving activities.
Oh, you're doing Black Friday?
I do not shop on Black Friday ever. So I go out into nature, and that's what I do on Black Friday.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, that would be scary. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I am not a shopping warrior that way, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I do want to be able to make sure I can get out there, enjoy nature, and not feel like I need to lounge around and do like major digestion and all that awful thing. But yeah, so my approach is basically I've taken myself out of environments where there would be a lot of temptation. Although I don't know that I would be tempted beyond unless there was a carrot cake somewhere. That might be my downfall. But
I don't think you're going to have carrot cake at the Brazilian.
I think I'm going to be safe. I think you're going to be safe. Yeah.
I went to a Brazilian steakhouse in Keto-Palooza,
Yeah.
and that was the first time. Every time I turned around, I had meat shoved in my face. So like that was amazing. Like they just like cut the meat off in front of you, and it was just like nonstop. It was awesome.
It's scary how much I can eat. It's just yeah. But I'm going to try to. I am going to try to moderate myself a little bit so I don't end up back in the ER.
Oh. Yeah, it's their seasoning, it's their spices, like the meat was good, but some of their spices, like, really it didn't upset my stomach, but I felt it a little bit.
Some of the lamb is has like oregano or mint or something like that, and so some of this stuff is seasoned. I usually don't do too much of that, but I will avoid the cheese. I think tomorrow or not tomorrow.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vince says it's so funny that my cheats have become things like summer sausage or chicken wings fried in lard, especially on NFL Sundays. Yeah.
Oh, chicken wings and lard. Yeah.
Yes. Whew.
Oh. Sounds so good. Well, I like to thank everyone in the chat. I think we could wrap it up. It's been about an hour and a half, but thank you everyone for having lunch with us. It definitely means a lot. I love chatting with you all. Thank you, Susie and Carrie, for coming on and having lunch with me. This was tons of fun.
It was anytime.
I love this. It was great to see you both, and thanks to everybody who dialed in today.
Yeah, and enjoy your Thanksgiving, everyone. Carrie and Susie, I'm sure I'll see you around the YouTube world. But yeah, enjoy your Thanksgiving if we don't actually talk before then.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.